Yesterday's watch review today. Um, this is one of those I had sort of a thing for movie watches. Not that I'm a hardcore collector or anything, but I mean, like I have all the Aliens movie watches and I have some James Bond movie watches and, stuff like that. Fun thing. What kitty cat? Oh my gosh, a kitty cat got in here. What? Kitty, you're not supposed to be in here. You're never supposed to be in here. What are you doing? Anyway, this is one of the movie watches that I have. This is a Seiko M516-4000 called a voice note watch or a voice note recorder. It's I have to say, Seiko especially during their golden age, they really have an eye for balance and design and elegance. This is the opposite of all of that. This has to be the least gracious design for a watch I think I've ever seen. It's super hyper funky. It's a fiber plastic case, kind of like almost like a Bakelite, with a screw-on metal back. It's quite light. It's a surprisingly large watch. If we can skip the buttons here, let's see how wide this thing is. Surprisingly large. 35? Only 35? I don't believe that. That's not right. Let's try that again. 36 millimeters? Gosh, I thought it was bigger than that. Maybe because it's square, it's more imposing. But it is one of the things that Seiko did is they put it on this thing that they had this penchant for asymmetrical bracelets. The 7828 Bishop had them. There was a dress watch that had basically this exact dress watch. I think it was a 6923 or maybe it was a 7123. I don't remember. In any case, it's a really funky thing. It's a standard quartz watch. It does timing, chronograph. It'll do lap. It's got an alarm, so it's quite functional. The display is tiny. But I mean, how big does the display need to be? Most of the rest of it is taken up with this unit, which, believe it or not, works, but the technology is just terrible. Let me try to record here. You can record in 4 seconds or 8 seconds. So let's try it. This is a Ghostbusters watch. Okay, let's see if that worked. I wonder if there's, like if I cleaned the connections or something, if it would be a little bit better. It's an interesting model. Like a lot of Seikos at this time in the 80s, Seiko was working very, very hard to get their stuff into movies. Of course, the Aliens movies had Seikos in it. The James Bond, Roger Moore's James Bond, he wore a lot of Seikos in all of his movies. Arnold Schwarzenegger and his Predator things, and Ghostbusters. And we see here. And there they are, right there. You can see there he is wearing his Ghostbusters watch. Also, somebody else who was really into these, bizarrely enough, was the author Ray Bradbury. This is an author photo of him off of one of his paperbacks. And then you can see it right there. I don't know what he used his for, but clearly somebody wore them once in the world. Anyway. They're a pretty wacky watch. I don't think I've ever worn mine. It's in decent enough shape. Usual thing, it's the PVD of this era, which is kind of soft and doesn't tend to last very well. But this isn't bad. It's got a couple burn-throughs, but nothing serious. The alarm on this is loud. Does the light work? Yeah, light works. The whole thing works. Crazy old thing. I mostly keep this as a curiosity. I mean, at a certain point, I was gonna sell it or something. I don't know. My wife was like, "You should not sell movie watches. Don't sell any movie watches." And I'm like, "Okay, fine." And I put it back in the box. But someday, maybe this should be on somebody's wrist at a convention wearing their Ghostbusters getup. Anyway, pretty neat thing. Relatively thick and brick-like. Like I said, absolutely ungracious lines. Maybe the beauty in it is the fact that it's so unbeautiful. Nutty old thing. Let's hear again. How silly. Okay, there you go. The Ghostbusters Seiko voice note. Thank you so much.